first stop, Ligonier, where Barry Grimm is digging out again.
Every day off, like almost the whole day. And then I go to work and then I come and do it again.
Next door, this woman took a break from shoveling to take aim at our camera. Further up the mountain, there's no time for play. Even the Laurel Summit sign is buried in snow. And we found one mountain neighborhood where the snow's literally built up higher than me on both sides of the road. In a place like this, it would really be easy to get lost in the snow.
I don't know. I'd say we probably have close to 70 inches, I'm going to guess.
Steve Sisley moved to this Laurel Summit neighborhood 6 years ago. He says he's making good use of his snowblower.
I'd say 3-4 times a week, it seems, all winter long this year.
All along his street, road signs are buried in snow. Many say they moved here for the winter weather, but when the plows get stuck, well, enough is enough.
This is the snowiest winter since we've been up here, but it's pretty. I think we're all getting a little bit ready for spring.
We made a trip to 9000 Bay Hill Boulevard, the home, or should I say the second home, for Arnold Palmer.
In your playing day, when you were introduced, it was never Arnold Palmer from Bay Hill or Arnold Palmer from Palm Bay. It was Arnold Palmer from Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
Right. Well, that'll always be my home, even though I live in Orlando a lot of the time. Latrobe's still my home.
He's the same person he was growing up, the son of a greenskeeper in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and those values are still with him today.
As you know, Bob, this Pittsburgh has been where I got all my roots. And from my playing golf in the West Penn to losing at Oakmont a couple times in the Open.
But there have been far more triumphs, 92 worldwide wins, 4 Masters championships, 7 majors in all, and this amazing ability to affect people who volunteered to be part of one of the biggest armies in sports, Arnie's Army.
You've been able to maintain a real connection with younger golfers still. I mean, is that gratifying to you?
Oh, it is. And of course, my love for golf will never change. I just, it's a passion with me that's everlasting. I see some things happening that you have mentioned with players today who are instant millionaires, and I feel sorry for them because I think that they're missing some of the greatest things in their lives by being, let's say, above what they should be. And golf is a game.
And it's a game that has been very good to Palmer, who still makes about $15 million a year in endorsements 23 years after his last tour win. He was one of only 13 people to have ever earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And now the USGA is expanding their museum in New Jersey, and they are going to call it the Arnold Palmer Center for Golf History.
It's like winning the Open. I'm flattered that the United States Golf Association has decided to do something like that. And the fact that they put my name on it, I'm very flattered.
Bingo.
All 6 suspects were quiet going into today's hearing, but coming out,
we're sorry what we did and we didn't mean it.
Apologies.
I feel bad for everything, yes.
Melvin Knight, Robert Masters, Ricky Smyrns, Angela Marinucci, Amber Meidinger, and Peggy Miller are charged with homicide, aggravated assault, and kidnapping in the brutal murder of 30-year-old Jennifer Dougherty. During a taped confession at today's hearing, defendant Ricky Smyrns, who was depicted as the ringleader, suggested jealousy was the motive.
Because she lied, sir. She was lying and trying to make the move on me, and Angie was getting literally mad because she made the move, and I told her no, that I didn't want to have sex all night.
He also went into detail about the torture Dougherty endured.
Who cut her hair? Black dude and Amber.
Is the black dude you're talking about Melvin?
Yes.
Okay, Melvin and Amber.
We're cutting her hair.
When did they cut her hair, and where did that happen?
Because they said she looked ugly, and I actually didn't think she was ugly. I thought she was still beautiful.
A taped confession from Knight was also played in which he admitted to inflicting the fatal stab wounds.
Then Ricky went and got a knife and told me to stab her. And what did you do? I hesitated for a little bit, and then I stabbed her.
Okay, where did you stab her first, Melvin?
In the chest.
Knight showed no remorse and even laughed at times during today's hearing. Still, District Attorney John Peck says he has not yet decided if the death penalty will be sought.
Primarily, at this point, we're still investigating the case. Believe it or not, there are still witnesses to be spoken to. People are coming forward who hadn't come forward before this time, and we're still learning new facts about all the 6 defendants.
At Fairless Elementary School, 300 kindergartners through 6th graders attend class here. But this school year, they've had to share the school with someone else. Police have been called here 30 times.
This is the worst situation for an elementary building or any building that we've ever dealt with.
School union head Butch Santacola says teachers are under attack at the elementary school. Teachers punched, teachers kicked, one attempted strangulation by a 5-year-old.
We've had teachers assaulted, kicked, we've had teachers punched, we have teachers strangled. There have been 10 teachers that have sought medical attention, 3 by ambulance.
For parents like Michelle St. Julian, it's time to find another school for her 8-year-old daughter.
I think it's sad. It's a sad situation. The kids are to go to school to learn. They're to be educated. It's a shame teachers don't get paid to be abused.
What are the folks who run the Woodland Hills School District saying about the dangers here at Fairless Elementary School? What's the superintendent saying? What's the principal saying? Listen closely. Absolutely nothing.
Fairless principal Dr. Deborah Vereen refused to talk to me about the violence in her school. She ordered me off school property. The school superintendent hasn't returned numerous calls. And there's no answers for 8-year-old Monet St. Julian, who goes to school in fear.
All kids feel scared when there's fights around them.
On Route 819 this morning near the Mount Pleasant Kmart, a 7-car pileup. Public safety officials say this was just one of the many calls they got around that same time thanks to slick conditions on the roads. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, but traffic was crawling along while state police checked out the scene. Just 15 minutes later on nearby 119, this driver lost control due to the dangerous conditions. Slick roads caused him to spin out and land in the median. Later in the afternoon, a truck carrying brand new vehicles overturned on a bridge in Armburst, dumping the vehicles from the carrier. A GMC Hummer literally hung from a guardrail. No one was injured, but neighbors were shaken.
It's terrible. I mean, they take the curve too fast. That's all it is.
State police say speed was likely a factor in addition to the weather.
There's always wrecks on the bridge. They go too fast. This is a main vein, 819, and they just don't know how to slow down.
Public safety officials say while some of these accidents were unavoidable, they're a reminder that we all need to be more cautious, especially now with holiday shoppers out in force.
Your safety is more important than any present that you might be going after or anything that you're, party you're going to. It's important people stay aware of what's going on, tune in, and make sure that they see what's happening.
Stephen says one of the biggest mistakes people make is underestimating the weather. He says even if you have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, you need to make adjustments when driving on wet and potentially icy roads.
Let's face it, people, southwestern Pennsylvania, it is now officially winter. We're going to have snow. People need to be aware, be alert, and arrive home safely.
Holiday travelers in Westmoreland County are starting out the new year on snow-covered roads.
Terrible. Slippy, icy, snowy, terrible.
Earlier this afternoon, heavy snow fell on travelers near the Turnpike interchange in Donegal.
Crappy, not fun to drive on, pretty much. That's about it.
Many holiday travelers we talked to say they won't let the weather change their plans, but they will leave some extra time.
My flight's at 7, so I did leave about an hour, probably before I should have left, but yeah, I think I'll be okay.
PennDOT crews began treating roads in the higher elevations early this morning. They are now monitoring the conditions, determining if and when crews need to come out in the lower elevations. Public Works crews and municipalities all over the area are doing the same.
We've been ready for the last couple of weeks. We got hammered last week. We have plenty of salt. Our vehicles are up and all running, and we're ready to go.
And this is good news for travelers who enjoyed the holiday and are now anxious to get home.
We're at a steady pace, not in a hurry, just want to get there safe.